welcome back to Sisterland
Welcome
Investors.
back. We're so happy to be here, guys.
So happy to be here.
For those that are new, we're sisters. My name's Elizabeth. This is Cindy. And we just got back from Asia. So make sure you guys go and follow our social media. I think we posted a lot of pictures and video there
We
on
did.
stories.
We did. It's exciting, exciting times. And just so happy to be back in my bed.
I know, me too. It's fun. It's fun. Today's topic will be
Research analysis. I think I'm like jet lagged still because I
no,
couldn't
we
think of
are.
it.
So bear with
Research,
us.
research analysis, and just basically trying to break down how we focus, how we find our target to send our mailers to hopefully get the business. So do you want to start like in kind of guide us on how you do it?
Okay, to be very honest, the way I like to do it is like, where do I like to go? Like, I like to go to Florida. I like to go to Tennessee. I like to go to Colorado. It's very selfish of me, but I'm like, okay, these are the places that I like to visit. Let's target those areas. That's kind of how it started off.
Yes.
Now I mingle it a little bit with where do people like to go? Where are people moving to?
But it kind of, well, moving to, yes, but I think that where do people like to go? I think that that kind of in lines with what we like to do, right? Like where we like to go. Well, I just
People
feel
like what we
like this
like.
summer when I was traveling with my daughter, we went to Maryland, we were in Pennsylvania, and I mean, it was beautiful, right? Like you
Yeah.
see things that you don't normally see, and you see land. Like we were driving through like rural areas and I saw beautiful land and I sent a mailer up there. Like it just, and I wasn't planning to, but I did. I was planning to meet up with someone that I know through this land thing, and we had like a land business meeting, but never did I intend on going to buy land there. And it's just working out that way, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing about this land you're
Analysis.
yeah, like you're traveling and you're looking at areas that you never even thought that you wanted to send to because you're not normally not there, but yet it opened my eyes to that area, which was a blessing for sure.
Yes. So that's one way. Like I said, lately we've been focusing. Like a lot of people are moving to Austin and Houston, and so we started targeting around outside those
Outside.
cities and less focus on Florida, which I love to travel to, or Colorado and things of that nature. But that's kind of how I do my target. Maybe I should like look at other things.
Well, I think I know that not recently, like not within the last year or two, maybe 2 years, but at one point I was looking at I was pulling the data of how many people were moving into certain areas, certain zip codes, and I was breaking it down that way. And that was helpful and I was successful, but then I stopped doing it and I was sending to the less crowded areas around big cities, and that worked too. So I haven't gone back to the way I started and like breaking it down, because that also takes time, because this the way I do it now works. But I think at the end of the day, people are moving. Like I
Yeah.
think that, and you worry. I think getting into this business, at least for me, I'm speaking for myself, you worry like, is this business saturated? Like, is there too many of us doing this? And
No.
but there's
Guys,
so much land.
no.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
like the least saturated because everyone is doing flipping homes and multifamilies. Land is not saturated. Go fix your
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah, but it felt that way, right? Like I felt like too many people like were mailing. Maybe Texas is too saturated, or maybe. But guys, I think there's a lot of people that start this and don't finish it because their mindset isn't right, and they get discouraged, or they get the calls and they get scared and they stop answering. There are a lot of people that are in this business that quit. They do one mailer, two mailers, and then they quit. And so I think the key is just staying focused and
Persistence.
persistence, yeah, and just keep sending. I mean, there's been, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, there's been times that I've sent a mailer and I do not get one phone call. What the reason is, I have my theories that I will not share on this podcast. However, did that stop me? No, it didn't. Was it money that I feel like went down the drain? Yeah, but it didn't stop me and it hasn't held me back for sure. I think that I think that just staying persistent is key. And then also too, like I said, I focused on certain zip codes and looking at where people were moving, the population growth, like all that. Then I stopped and I was still successful. So I can't tell you exactly what is working, but they both work for me. How about you?
Well, again, for me, it's been like what I like. Where do I like to go? Where do I like to spend my time with? And then seeing where people are moving, like big companies. Where's Tesla? Where's Microsoft? Where's Shell or Enron or whatever big, huge companies are moving? And wherever these big companies go, people go to work for them. They need a place
They
to.
need land, or builders want to build homes there too, and they're going to
Yes.
be looking for
So
the
I
land.
just look
So
outside. I don't make it too hard. I don't go into zip codes.
like I said, I did at first. I think when you're in the learning era, and always trying to learn, obviously, but then you see what works for you. But then you get the business, you get busy, and like I just need to send another one. So it changed for me. But like I said, I felt like it worked and it was exciting, but I don't know that it was truly that. I think it's just
So the zip codes work better for you than just
well,
men
it
to
wasn't
go.
just zip codes. I was looking at counties, like counties that people were moving
Okay.
to, and the population growth in each county. But it ends up being what you're saying. Like it's where the big companies are moving, and that's why the like if you look at the history and you dig into the nitty gritty, then
Yeah.
that's what you realize. But at the end of the day, it intertwines with each other if you
Yeah.
really think about it, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the same thing. I was looking at it at a numbers game, you're looking at it at a bigger picture, but it works out the same, right?
Or whatever's pretty, the places that are nice. But even the not so nice, like there's part of Texas that it's called the East that a lot of people tell you not to invest there because it's like desert.
Yeah.
Now with the solar panels and all that, I see a lot of investors in our industry investing like hundreds and thousands of acres out there to sell it to these people that are doing putting solar panels
Yes.
to you know give us electricity or light. So it just depends on the needs of what's going on. But yeah, I never analyzed it like that. I just, again, my husband's the one who
Who
does.
does?
But I tell him because he'll ask me, where do you want me to send Mel? And I'm like, we're going to Nashville, do around Nashville, or we're heading to Florida. I love Florida. Like, I want to retire in Florida. Go search for land in Florida. And I tell them the areas that I like around this place, around that place. So that's kind of how we've done it in the past, and it's worked. It's
I
worked.
think that just sending mail works, right?
Yes.
I don't think. I mean, we're thinking that the way we're doing it, it works. But I think that just getting up and saying you're going to do it and you want to do your own thing. So I think just the action of actually doing it is key, right? Would you agree?
Yes.
For sure.
Just doing it.
Yeah. Just
And when there's people, where there's heartbeats and people breathing, I think if you stick around there, you're going to be good.
yeah. And like I said, there's people that have called me in the last 3 months that I sent a mailer to 2, 3 years ago that
Yes.
are calling now saying I'm ready to sell. Although you're busy with what you've done in the last month or your goals for the month or whatever, then you have the people that are coming back to you saying I'm ready to sell, or let's negotiate this price that you offered me, or whatever the deal is. So it just works. Like the consistency works, being able to send the mailers to wherever it is that you choose to sell it, or however you want to do it. I think that the key is staying consistent and being able to send them. And even if they don't call you back now, it may be 2 to 3 years that they do call them. Being able to send the mail in general, I think is good for you. But when we're talking about analysis, there's so many people in this industry that break it down the way I started, and it takes a lot of time, but I think we've just been blessed, right? And being able to send the mail to where our gut, our energy, whatever we've been focusing on, we've been blessed and it's worked.
Yes, it's work. And if you don't get calls on a certain place, probably it was the wrong timing. But like she said, they'll end up calling you a year later or 2 years later, because that's happened to me too, where I get a call and they're like, okay, now I'm ready to sell. Do you still want to buy? Are you still interested? I'm like, absolutely. So, yes, a lot of investors do spend a lot of time researching markets, analyzing. I think
And they probably do very well. But I think that for us, it's worked. So if it's not broken, don't fix it because it has it's been going great. But maybe for those that do go in the nitty gritty with the numbers and love to do that, that's their
we
thing.
should have one of you guys, if you're an investor in land and you do like very due diligent research on a market, what your return is, because we at least get one or two for every mailer we send, and that's been very good. I'm happy with that. Of course, if I get more, I'll be more happy. So I want to know, do you get more than two when you do all that due diligence, or do you just kind of say, okay, everyone, this company's moving to Nashville, let's send out around Nashville? How that works out.
Yeah, I would be very, very interested in knowing that as well because maybe we're cutting ourselves short. Like maybe we are, but it's worked for us. Right? It's
But
worked
you've
for
done it both ways.
so, but I did it only for like the population growth. And so it wasn't like I hear some people that like dig deep, like they go down to the zip code level and then they incorporate numbers. It can get very like tedious. And I've never gone that far, right? I've gone to research like like I said, when I started, I did like zip codes and I would still do the county, but I haven't done it in the last like 2 years. I don't get that.
Did you notice a difference though when you were getting
No.
nitty gritty?
No. Well, there was a difference when like COVID and then when everyone wanted to sell. But I think that was a difference for everyone because you told me it was a different for you too. So you don't ever know, like we will never know, was it because of the COVID or was it because like did the markets truly change because of COVID or was it because I wasn't doing the research that I was doing before? I guess I could do another one and see. Why not?
That takes too much time. You do it. Tell us how it goes.
So, yeah, I mean, that's as far as I go, but I think that it is easy to see where if you have a big city looking around, it's easy, it's quick and easy to see on any Zillow, realtor.com, like any of those. That's just easy and sustainable for us in our case, right? Like it's worked.
But when you're doing like the analysis on the zip codes and all that, don't you like because I would hear my husband, he does that. He would say, like, oh, on this side of the same zip code, they're like twice or three times as more than this side.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, just think here where we live. Like it changes. Like we have the same zip code, but there's different price ranges where you live. So I think that's the case all over America, and it is going to change. So the key, and this is why I like to answer phones. The key is in your conversations and how you're negotiating price, right? So you send the same mailer, you send it to the county, whether it's the same zip code or not, when they call back is the key. I feel like that when you're able to talk. So I never get into nitty gritty when a person calls. I always say thank you for. I ask the same basic questions: does it have access? Does it have electricity? Does it have water? I get all that information. Do you owe back taxes? And then I say, can you give me whatever 3 days, 4 days, and I'll call you back. I do my research, and based on my research is whether I tell them I can only give you this much or actually yes, that's let's close the deal. Like I love what I offered you and it's fine. So answering the phone for me is key because regardless of what side of the zip code, you negotiate in your talks with them, right?
Yeah, up or down.
Yep.
That's so true.
Yep.
That's so true. So just getting them to call you, I think it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Once you get them to call you, you kind of take it from there.
I will say though, the last two deals that I was very excited about have ghosted me. And that's never happened to me.
What do you mean?
So I had a guy sign the deal. Everything was going to go through. I was going to purchase his. He was actually purchasing for me. I'm lying. He was purchasing for me. He signed the contract, signed everything, and just ghosted me. I mean, we already had everything at title. Like his signature was at title, and then title is like, we haven't received the earnest money. And I was like, well, what do you mean? So I started calling him. I've called him now for a week, and he's ghosted me. He's one. The second one, and this all happened within the last week. The second one was someone I was buying to. She called me and was interested. Everything's fine. And now it's ghosting me too. Like I've called back. I'm doing my follow up. I'm doing what I should do. So now I'm scaling back a little bit, giving them time because maybe life happens, right? It could be anything.
It's summer.
It's summer. It is.
It's summer. A lot of them go on vacation. I had that happen to me like a summer too. Now that you said everything's entitled, he didn't send the earnest money. The same thing happened to me. He didn't send the earnest money he was purchasing. And I just put it back for sale. I'm like, is there time? Title company's like, whoa, that it expired. You would have to do a new one. I'm like, no, I'm just going to relist it. I'm not even.
That's, I mean, the second that he wasn't answering, I told my realtor to relist it for me as well. If he calls me back, well, then we'll just sign another contract. It's easy. But yeah, time is money. I don't have time to wait on you. If it expired, it expired. Sorry. Like yeah.
That's you live and you learn. And I think it's summer, so give them some time. A lot of people are the kids are home.
They're coming back. They're probably back in school. Like it's like yeah, and so they're trying to recap. Yeah. I don't know. But it'll I have faith it'll sell. If it's not to him, it's someone else. So it's okay. It doesn't matter. But that is something weird that's never happened to me. Two at the same time, like just the ghost. That was so random, but it happens. It's part of the business, up and downs.
Up and downs, yes, it is. So, yeah, I like your market analysis. I'm very curious because honestly, I don't do a lot of market analysis. I just kind of see where everyone's going, what everyone likes to vacation, camp out, do the things, and I just go with that. But I would love to know for those that do the research, the extensive due diligence, if they get more than two. If you do get more than two, call me so I could get you with my husband so he can start doing more due diligence.
Yeah, well, once they call you, then you teach me.
Okay. Guys, it's been a pleasure spending time with you guys.
Good. Always so good to be here. I'm getting more comfortable in front of this camera. It's taken, I don't know how long, a long time, but I am getting more comfortable and
Like
I love
6
coming.
months.
I love coming back and speaking with you guys. And we hope that you are benefiting somehow, some way from this. We wish you all abundant blessings in your journey and hopefully land investing. And we look forward to the continued journey.
Yes, we'll see you on the next episode. Love you guys. Many blessings. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.